Hey guys, Savage Brewski here with another terrain project for you. I'm going to show you an easy way to make foam hills and rocks from spray insulation. Let's check it out. The first thing you do is just spray out a blob. And you don't want to have any holes or any voids. You see I'm kind of covering over this so it just covers evenly and thickly and high. It will expand and look like this when it's all dry and done. It takes a couple hours. Now, step one is kind of cut off the bottom so you have a flat surface. You can actually put this on something, and I do recommend a base. Just keeps it so you won't have anything getting damaged over time, nothing will fall out the bottom, and you don't have this random foam look on the bottom of things. From there, you want to start cutting off the sides and making this look more like rock, more angular. You're going to do this a couple of times, and a retractable blade is all you need. I do have an insulation knife. I didn't find that work so well. And if you want to stick models on this, cut the top off. Just make a flat surface, and then you can take little chunks out to make it look a little more irregular, a little more rocky. As much as little as you want. You could make these a lot bigger around, by the way. You just want to put something down like wax paper so it doesn't, it will stick to whatever you put it to. So don't do this right on a table, right on a desk. It will stick. Wax paper is definitely something you want here. So just keep cutting, and you'll see I go back and forth from the bottom up to the top, up to the sides, cut off more on the sides again. It's kind of an evolving thing. You basically just want a flat surface so it rests and it doesn't wobble. And you want to get rid of all the rounded hard shell bits that don't really look like rock. If they look more like, something bubbly or some kind of lava, unless you're going for that look, you don't really want that. You just want something more angular, much more simpler. You'll also notice that there are some holes in the top here. Don't worry about those. You can basically fill those in the next step. Once you're happy with the shape, you want to cover this in the classic and patented mix of acrylic caulk, glue, PVA, and some sand. This gives you texture, it hardens, and gives you a really durable shape. I didn't actually show this on this one. I've done this before on my channel. You can see that in other videos, but this is a piece I did a little while ago, and it's covered in this mix. And now all we're going to do is take a lighter color. Black paint and white caulk makes dark gray, so all we're going to do is a lighter gray and just overbrush this a bit so you get a little more definition, a little more highlight, especially on the ridges, the raised areas. And this is where you handle imperfections too. You can see that it didn't quite cover perfectly in a couple of spots, or it looks a little more blobbed on. That's totally fine. This, you just paint over it and you'll handle 90% of that easily. And again, I'm just overbrushing with, I confess I bought some makeup brushes. They are awesome for dry brushing terrain or models that are on the larger side. You can get a set on Amazon for, I don't know, $8 or $10. It's absolutely been worth it. You'll notice on this, I'm going to go over all the raised areas, and then I get the kind of flat ones with less paint on the brush. It just looks a little better, breaks things up without being too sloppy. And you can do the base too. I didn't really bother too much on this piece, but you can go over the base. You can go over this as much or as little as you want, and the coloring just depends on what you're trying to do. If this were a desert rock, it would be, brownish and tan. But that's kind of what you end up with. You can see I've covered it over so it's got some definition, some highlights to it, and stands out a bit. Now I went a little further. I wanted to put some scatter on it. I got some sawdust scatter from Geek Gaming Scenics and some PVA. And I'm not even bothering to water this down. You just blob it on a little bit and get a crappy brush. Do not use your good ones. Don't use the makeup brushes either. And just spread that around a little bit so you have a pattern of where you want the moss or the grass. Best way to go. Then just pinch your flock, get a little bit of that. You can, if this is a bigger piece, you can do it with a spoon. I've seen that done, but I'm just literally taking a pinch at a time. And like an idiot, I didn't put anything under this at first. But it's a good idea if you really are trying to be frugal and just use the most out of that bag. It's not like this is super expensive, but if you get a little tray, this is like a muffin size paint tray, then you can knock the excess right off into one of the cups, and after a couple of goes, you can pinch it back up and put it back to use, as you'll see me do. But again, just make another spot, get some PVA on, move it around with your brush, get it covering whatever surface or whatever area you want. Grab your material, pinch it on, drop it on, rinse, lather, repeat. This really is as simple or as complicated as you want, and you can use various things. You know, you could use, I'm just using simple sawdust flock here. I'm not really trying to be glamorous about this or even hyper realistic. This is just simple down and dirty terrain. But you could put tufts on this, you could put crystals on this, you can go to any length. It's just really a simple piece that anyone can do. And, you know, commentary, what this cost me, I mean, a can of spray foam, and I did not use the whole thing up. I got 5 or 6 of these blobs, and the can was maybe $5 at a hardware store. That's not bad. The flock from Geek Gaming Scenics, I think, was $7 or $8, not including shipping. Caulk is, you know, $1 or $2 a tube. Glue, paint, all that stuff, brushes, whatever. This is very cheap and very easy. And I think this is even easier than sheet foam. You know, you will definitely get an angular look with sheet foam, but maybe you don't have the room for that, or you don't want to buy a whole sheet of it, whatever. So after you get it how you want it, just give this a couple of good knocks and really get the excess off. And there you go. Ready to go rocks. And there you have it. So another terrain project. Again, very, very simple, very easy to build, very, very cost effective, and doesn't take you a lot of time at all. So if you're new to terrain, this is a really good way to get some things on your battlefield that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg, take a lot of time, or need a lot of materials. As always, I really hope this helps. If there's a project you want help with or something you want to see, leave it in the comments below. Like the video if this has been useful to you. Subscribe if you want to see more content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay savage.